Hello, this is Deanne Rice at deannerice.com, and today I'm going to show you how to remove background from an image using Photoshop. So let's go on over to Photoshop, and this is the image we're going to do. I want to remove the background from the girl. And so the first thing I'm going to do, though, is I need another layer, not the background. And I need it to be the same. I need it to have the picture on it. So I'm going to duplicate this layer and call it layer 1. And I'm going to not show the background layer and just show layer 1. Now, I'm going to show you 3 ways to do this. The first way is using the tool, the magic wand, which is right here. The second way is using a filter and extracting it, the image. And the third way is to use this lasso, which is the lasso tool right there. So we're going to start out, though, with the magic wand. So I'm going to take the magic wand, and what it does is it chooses pixels that are all similar colors. And depending on the tolerance, it's what range of, how wide a range of colors that is. And I have it set at 30 because that works fairly well for this picture. So I'm going to click this. Now, I got some, and if I click it again, it gives me different ones. But if I hold the Shift key down, then I can add to the pixels I've already clicked or collected there. And what I want to do is, I'm not too worried about the sides or this outside part. I want to get an outline around her body. And so I'm just going to keep clicking. And oops, that went up in. I'm going to go up here and sit back. I don't want it to go up into the, there it goes, onto her clothing. I just want it to outline her body. And some of these, I'm not too worried about this here. I can actually just erase these little ones after I'm done. So I just mostly am concerned that I get an outline. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to take that out later when I zoom in. I'm going to do a first pass here. And this goes fairly fast, especially when you've got something where there's a fairly good edge on the image that you want to save. And this has a fairly good edge. It's kind of a complicated image, but it is a fairly good edge. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to click delete, and it deletes all that, all the background. Now I'm going to deselect that, and I'm going to come over here. Well, first I'm going to enlarge it because I want to go in some of these places where it's kind of not real clean, and I'm going to do my magic wand again. I'm going to get right here in between her legs, take that out, and delete that. And then right here in the shoelace, and again the shoelace, I'm going to delete those. Right here in the hand and her other hand. And then I'm going to just grab the eraser, which I'm going to make that just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to, because I haven't deselected. Got something that's still selected. I can't use something else if I've already got a selection made. And I'm going to just go over this and erase a bunch of this junk that's right here that didn't get out. And I'm going to go ahead and shrink it and do my eraser again. And just kind of go over the edges, get rid of the junk. And that was kind of quick. I'd probably want to spend a little bit more time on it. But what I can do now is I'm going to make another layer, And I've chosen it, and now I'm going to take and put a brush on. I'm going to put another color. I'm going to put, not black, but red over it. And I'm going to drop this layer down so my girl will be on top. And there you can see it's fairly good. You can see all the, I've got some edges right down in here that probably need to be fixed. Other than that, it's not bad. And you spend a little bit more time with it. So the second one I'm going to show you though, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a duplicate layer. I'm going to call this layer 3. And I'm just going to duplicate that layer again and call that 4 because I'm going to need it again. Okay, so for 3, I'm going to get rid of these. What I'm going to do is the filter, and we're going to do what's called to extract it. And this pops up. First thing I want to do is make it just a little bit bigger and move her up, so it'll be easier that way. And maybe I can't do that. Okay, well, that's fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to go around this with this highlighter, which I want to make 30. And the whole idea is just to kind of hit the edges with the highlighter. And it doesn't matter if you get in a little bit too far or something. And it's actually pretty fast to do this. And then I'm going to show you this real quick here at the very end. There's also this what's called smart highlighting, and that's where it's supposed to pick up the edge, which it is not doing too well on this picture. But you can see it's supposed to find the edge and pick it up. You can do either one you want. When you get done, we're going to pick the pail and dump blue paint on the part that we want to keep. Hit preview. And you notice parts of her are missing, but we've got this little cleanup tool. And if I hit Alt, I can go along and I can pick up all the pixels right along that were taken that shouldn't have been. And if I'm pretty careful, I won't pick up a lot of the background. Again, I usually spend quite a bit of time doing this. I'm trying to do it quickly, and the mouse is not moving real well with the Camtasia running, so it's kind of hard to control. Okay. In fact, I'm losing it at times. Okay. And I use both this tool and the magic wand tool, kind of depending on the picture that I'm doing. Sometimes it's easier to use this, and other times it's just easier to use the magic wand. Sometimes the difference in color between the background and the picture or the image that I want to keep are real similar. Then it's easier to do this because I can kind of really get in there and choose where I want it to be. So that looks pretty good. As much trouble as I'm having doing this, I think I'm going to quit. Okay, so now what we're going to do though is we're going to pick this, and I'm going to make this smaller. I'm going to make it about 15, and I'm actually going to zoom in right down here where the problems are. And I'm not going to do all of this because it does take time, but I now can come along here with this and I can erase parts I don't want. Now I got onto the shirt there. But then what I can do is, this is a edge touch up. I can come along here and this is going to pull my edge back out for me. And that doesn't look too bad right there. I'd probably want to work on the hand some more. I can do this, and I'll do over here just real quick. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to take it out of there, not add it in. Okay. Okay, and then do the edge touch up. And you can see it takes time, but when you get done, you're going to click OK, and this is what you're going to have. Now, I didn't clean up down here. I could take an hour doing this. So, and again, if we take and we put this up here on top of the red and light the red up, then you can see it even shows better some of the spots that need touching up. But you can see where I worked on the hand, it's not too bad. And right here, it's not bad at all. So that's another way. It just needs more work. Now the last way, and we're going to go back and use our final picture, is with this lasso. And this I do want to enlarge. And again, like I say, I'm not overly worried about all the background. I just want to get an outline of her body. So you just kind of run this right along. I know people who love this. This is their favorite. I do not do this very often. So you gotta create an area here. Okay. Now hit delete. And that's going to delete all those pixels. But you get the idea. This is basically what you do. So I'm going to delete it. I'm going to do this. I'm trying to hurry because I don't want to take forever. And then you'd have to go back in. You could spend a lot more time doing this. But there's one more thing I want to show you, because there's also what's called the magic lasso. And this is supposed to kind of find the edges again. You notice I didn't get too close there, but you're going to go down in it. Kind of makes a line. And then you're going to go back out and delete it. And sometimes this is good if you can do some of it with just the lasso. But this kind of finds those edges. And you might want to come back up in here where you did it with just the lasso and go back up and around, which it doesn't seem to be picking it up. So anyhow, I guess I'm not clicking to make my points. I gotta go back to the starting point, which I can't get to. Okay. And it takes it out. And that's another way that you could that you can do it. And if we put it up behind then you can see there I took out, you can see the red instead of the background. If you take the background off, you can see where the pixels are. And we could actually take an eraser and we could erase this and get fairly close. Remove a lot of the background like that, and then do the rest with the lasso. And then if we put this up, there we go. Okay, so I've showed you how to remove the background 3 different ways using Photoshop. This is Deanne Rice at deannerice.com.